Supporting Canadians who are financially vulnerable. That is the goal of a new program from Prosper Canada. It is called Resilient Futures, and it's ambitious, it is broad, and over the course of the coming months and years, you're going to hear a lot more about it because of the impact they are aiming to make. Our guest today is Galen Maclusky. He is Prosper Canada's Director of Frontline Programs, and he joins us now to talk about it. Hello there.
Hey, Bruce, thanks for having me.
It is my pleasure. Resilient futures. That is a great phrase. What does it mean in terms of this program?
So this program is all about making sure that people across Canada have access to financial help services that can help them thrive, can help them prosper, and can help them manage the different money situations they might find themselves in.
Give us the headlines here in terms of the dollars that are being invested in this and where they come from.
So this has originated from a $60 million Government of Canada grant through the Social Development Partnerships Program for Children and Families. And Prosper Canada, our organization, is also committed to raising an additional $12 million in support of financing from a number of different funders over the next few years.
And that $60 million gets spent over time, or is that, how do you think about how that gets divvied up?
So it's going to be spent over the next 4 years. And the primary focus of that 60 million is going to be direct funding to organizations that are providing services to Canadians. So things like access to tax filing, help accessing benefits, things like that.
Now, I looked on the website. There's a lot of things to learn about how this program is going to unfold, and so a real focus on some key demographics. When you think about this broad group of people who are vulnerable, are there particular areas of focus that you really hope Resilient Futures will be able to impact?
Absolutely. So through the initiative, we've chosen 3 specific priority populations that we really want to focus in on. So those are Black communities, Indigenous communities, so First Nations, Inuit, and Métis, and also people living with disabilities. So there are particular funding streams to support those specific populations. We're also very interested in reaching rural and remote communities and also official language minority communities. So communities who are speaking the minority official language in that region.
The government's providing much of the money, not all, but much of the money. What's the advantage to having an organization like Prosper being in the mix here? Why are these organizations simply not hopping on a train or a plane, going to Ottawa and putting out their hand?
Yeah, great question. Number one of the big roles that we're going to be playing, in addition to administering the funding, is also building capacity within the organizations themselves and building a network of collaboration and support across the country. So Prosper Canada has a long history of supporting organizations around these kinds of services and in hosting convenings and spaces where organizations in different regions can learn from each other, can grow their practices together, and ultimately strengthen the overall ecosystem of support in Canada. Because really what we're trying to achieve is not just individual services, but services that are connected across Canada. And so that there's a really network of collaboration.
I've spent most of my career trying to help people get a better handle on their money, and there have been an infinite number of initiatives over the time that I've been focused on that, some effective, some less effective. One of the organizations that has a strategy in this regard is the FCAC, the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. How does Prosper and Resilient Futures work within all the other things that are happening at the level of education and with employers and all that? It's really to use the word, it is quite a complex ecosystem.
Absolutely. There's a few different ways in which our work intersects and overlaps. Definitely, we communicate regularly with FCAC to make sure that our strategy is aligned with their overall mandate and strategy that they're trying to pursue. We also, with our partners, work with a number of multi-service agencies. So that means that financial empowerment services are also being connected to other supportive services like housing, like mental health crisis supports, which are all related. And we're really trying to make sure that as we pursue our work, we're looking for aligned programs that we can connect with, but not duplicate. Another one that you might have talked about is the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program, which is a key way that people living on low incomes across Canada can file their taxes for free. And we recognize that many of the organizations that are going to be applying are also likely going to be part of the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program. So we see ourselves as building from that supportive infrastructure and also focusing in some areas that are unique to this work, such as help accessing benefits outside of the tax system and help accessing one-on-one financial coaching and counseling supports, which are not as often provided in other contexts.
One of the best parts of Prosper Canada, one of the greatest things you've ever done is the Benefits Wayfinder. I talk about it all the time. I love it. But what the challenge is in that case is demand for the Wayfinder, because the benefits are there. People just have to find them. As you think about the kind of programs that you're offering in this particular world, demand can be hard to stir up because of shame or lack of awareness or all the things versus, say, if you've got severe chest pain, your demand to go to the ER is quite high. You'll just do that and you just hope the ER has capacity for you. In this world, the greatest competitive threat is people doing nothing. How do you address that within the mandate of Resilient Futures?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll say let's start with tax filing, because that's often the most immediate pressing need that brings people into the door of our partners. It's very specific, and that's a really good opportunity to start having a conversation about the financial situation that people are in and make apparent to them the other forms of support that are available, like coaching and counseling and access to benefits. So I'd say often our partners are starting with things that are easier and more approachable. Another example would be overall information sessions, building financial literacy, where you don't have to come in and say, this is the situation I'm in, these are the struggles I'm having, which can be very, very personal. But you can come into a session to say, learn about an RRSP, for example, or learn about different types of benefits. And then that's often a really big launching point for then receiving these other forms of services. And that also really helps build trust between people who are coming in and the community agencies, because they get a chance to meet the staff members they might be working with and see that they're real people, that they're understanding and excited to help them with the specific situations they're in.
It is a big problem that you're trying to solve, and it's a big amount of money. As you think about, we've got listeners here who work for organizations, who run organizations, who are like, wow, this could be a big deal for us. What guidance would you have in terms of the criteria on which their proposals will be assessed?
So number one is really looking for the level of expertise and experience they have in providing these financial empowerment services. So any way that they're able to demonstrate that this is expertise that we have, this is work that we've been doing, here's our credibility in the community, and also demonstrating that an understanding of the needs of specific vulnerable community members in their community is going to be really, really helpful in terms of their application. There is a stream, as I mentioned, focused on our priority populations. And that stream in particular doesn't require organizations to have deep expertise in financial empowerment supports, but it does require them to demonstrate that they have a really in-depth understanding of how to serve those communities, how to tailor services and supports to those communities. So again, in that stream, really looking for that that depth and history of expertise in working with those communities. I would say that's the number one thing that we're really looking for is demonstrated credibility and skill in this area. And then I'd say the second one is the ability to reach broadly across a region or an area. So a region could be within a major metropolitan area. The ability to demonstrate that you can reach across that metropolitan area, that you're willing to work with organizations all across the area to make sure that people who are vulnerable can access these services, and to your point earlier, find out about them. Or maybe you're able to demonstrate that you can reach across an entire region, the south side of your province or territory, for example. We're really looking to try and create regional hubs of expertise. And so that ability to reach broadly and have broad influence in your region is really important to the funding.
Really interesting. Galen, thank you very much for joining us to talk about this.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Galen Maclusky is with Prosper Canada. He is its director of Frontline Programs, and he was here to talk about their program called Resilient Futures.